Hello everybody, welcome. In this video, I am going to tell you everything that you need to know about Disney's brand new MagicBand Plus. Alright, so let's get started. We are going to cover everything in this video, from what is the MagicBand to how do you get one, how do you set it up, what can you do with it, and I'm going to give you my honest review of what I think of the MagicBand after using it for a few days. Now, just a quick note, there is so much content in this video that I've divided it up into chapters. Down below, you can actually click through and jump to any of the individual chapters if you're interested in something very specific that you might be looking for in this video. So let's get started with, what is the MagicBand? What is it all about? The MagicBand was introduced a number of years ago at Walt Disney World Resort in Florida as sort of your key to the world, key to the magic. It is essentially a wristband that you wear around your wrist, and it gives you all sorts of access through Walt Disney World. And these used to come for free. You used to get MagicBands for free with your Disney vacation. When you booked a package, 2, 3, 4, 7, 10-day packages at the resorts, they would send you out MagicBands for each person in your party, and they would be customized and they would have your name written on the back of it. You could also choose different colors and etc. The things that you could do with it included using it as your room key for your hotel, using it as your park passes and access into the parks. So when you go to the parks, you scan in, you could use your MagicBand instead of having to hold a physical ticket or use your phone. In water parks and other areas, you could also use it for locker rentals. In the old days at Typhoon Lagoon, if you got a locker, you had a key, you had a physical key that you wore around your wrist, and you went in the water and hoped you didn't stab yourself accidentally with the key. The MagicBand got rid of all of that. Your MagicBand also helped with photo pass opportunities. So walking up to a photo pass cast member and getting a photo, they could scan you could scan your MagicBand and they could get your photo and be linked to your account. Same thing went for on-ride photos. So if you were wearing a MagicBand and you were on a ride, it would know who you are and it would connect it. So if you were going through a ride, you got your picture taken on a ride, it would automatically connect it to your account. And back in FastPass days, it was also a way to get Fast Passes, have your Fast Passes on the MagicBand, and let you actually get into the Fast Pass lane on specific attractions. In the new world, that has now moved to Genie Plus and Lightning lanes. And it still works the same way. You can still use your MagicBand for Genie Plus and for individual Lightning Lane attractions. The last thing you could do with MagicBands was you could use them for charging purposes. So if you were a resort guest, you could actually link a credit card to your MagicBands and you could buy stuff with it. Now don't get alarmed, it sounds like it's a little scary. What happens if you lose your MagicBand? Well, there's a PIN that you actually set up. So even if somebody takes your MagicBand and tries to charge with it, they wouldn't know your PIN number, so they wouldn't be able to buy anything. So it's actually a really nice feature because you could give MagicBands to kids and adults, and as long as they knew the PIN number, they could go and they could buy things at any time. You didn't have to carry money on you, you didn't have to carry credit cards. All you had to do was carry this band. You could literally get away with going to the parks all day long with only this. No money, no keys, no nothing. Just using this. And this was a fantastic system. I absolutely loved it. Now, what's happened over the years is Disney has slowly but surely started moving pretty much every feature that a MagicBand offered into your mobile phone. So now the My Disney Experience app actually covers pretty much everything you can do with a MagicBand. So they've slowly reduced, if not eliminated, the need for MagicBands over time. And then now they've actually stopped giving MagicBands for free as part of vacation packages. So people who loved MagicBands, it's a little disappointing because you no longer get them for free. You have to purchase them, and they can run you between $20, $30, $40 depending on the variation that you get. And MagicBands typically lasted for about 2 to 3 years before they died, before the batteries stopped working. So that's MagicBand. Let's talk about MagicBand Plus and what are the differences. MagicBand Plus is exactly what it sounds like. MagicBand plus some other stuff. Everything you could do with the old MagicBands, you can still do with MagicBand Plus, but you have some additional features. And when it comes to battery life, if you think about the battery for the MagicBand, it's almost like there's two separate batteries. There's one battery that sort of runs the normal day-to-day operations of the MagicBand, things like getting into your hotel, using it for park passes, purchasing things. That battery still lasts pretty much 2 or 3 years worth of time before it needs to be replaced. Well, you pretty much just replace the MagicBand at that point. However, there is another battery And I don't know if it's actually a separate battery or how it works. I'm just kind of explaining it, how it actually comes to life. There's another battery that is responsible for running the lighting up of the MagicBands and the vibration. So the new features that the MagicBand offers. So just to show an example of that here, I can actually change the different colors. I'm just going to show you how it kind of lights up. Pick whatever colors I want. This will be my standard color. There's a pretty good number of colors to choose from. So that lighting up and then vibration actually does run the battery down in the MagicBand really quickly. So every like day or two or a few hours, depending on how much you actually use it, you will need to charge it. One last thing to note about the rechargeable battery, again, because they're sort of like the two separate batteries, even if your battery dies for all the lighting up and the vibration, it still works as your room key, your park pass, so you don't have to worry like, oh, if I use too much of my band, I'm not going to be able to get into my room, or I'm not going to be able to charge food or whatnot. It will still work. And the brand new MagicBands do come with a charging sort of station here, if you will, and a USB cord. Now, it does not come with a charging box, so you will have to plug this into some sort of box and plug it into the wall, unless you have a USB plug directly in your wall or in your car, like some people do. We have some, so I can actually charge it directly, but it doesn't have the little box. You would need to buy one of those separately. And this will actually usually charge in like maybe, I don't know, an hour or so. It'll go back to full charge. And it lasts, like I said, a pretty good amount of time. So we'll talk a little bit about all the things that you can do now with the MagicBand Plus that you couldn't do with the old MagicBand. But before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about the pricing and the styles. On average, the price for the MagicBand Plus is going to be $34.99 or $44.99 right now. They may come out with some other editions or special editions that have different pricing, but right now all the MagicBands that are out are $34.99 or $44.99. And they do come in a variety of different styles. You can get discounts on the MagicBands. If you are a resort guest and you're staying for a resort package, you get $10 off of the MagicBand. So if you're buying the $45 MagicBand, you can get it for $35. You buy the $35, you can get it for $25. If you are an annual pass holder, you get $9 off the $45 one and $7 off the $35 one. So that sort of brings you down to almost the same price you would get if you were a resort guest. Now, they have a bunch of different styles of MagicBand to choose from. Everything from Mickey Mouse to the new 50th anniversary partner statue. They've even got Grogu, Baby Yoda. They've got Up, they've got Black Panther, they've got all sorts of different color styles that are just sort of like standard color styles with Mickey on it. And they have lots of different characters and themes to choose from, tons of stuff. And I'm sure over time they will come out with even more variations. So if you don't see one that you really love right now, I'm sure there will be one available at some point in the future that you will definitely want to pick up. Now, they are one size fits all. They come as one size. So this is the standard size that I'm using right here. This is about the normal size. This is the secondary size here, and I'll just kind of hold it up so you can kind of see the difference. This is a little bit smaller version. And the big difference here is that this has been torn off. So there's a side over here on this smaller one that I actually ripped off. So this is my wife's MagicBand. She wears it a lot smaller. She has a smaller wrist. So you can kind of see the section that I tore off. So for smaller children and for people with smaller wrists, there is a peel off section here that you can basically rip off and get to a smaller size if you need that. My wrist is a little bit bigger, so I stick with the bigger size. It's fairly easy to take that off. It's not a pain, but once you tear it off, it is torn off for good. It's not going back on there. So make sure that the smaller one fits before you rip that part off. One more thing to mention about the different styles that they have. You can see this version here. This is the special Fireworks edition of this MagicBand Plus. It actually not only looks different because it has sort of the fireworks in the middle here. Some of them have different different symbols here. A lot of them just have Mickey Mouse. Mine has the Mickey face. It's a different variation of Mickey face. But this one is a special Fireworks edition. And the big difference here is that in the actual app itself, there is a place where you can choose what color you want your MagicBand to light up as your default color. From blue to purple to red to green, yellow, all the different sort of colors that you can choose from. The Fireworks one actually has a special Fireworks theme that actually lights up with multiple colors here, almost like a rainbow color. And that's only available with the Fireworks band. I haven't purchased every single MagicBand Plus, so I don't know what other themes might be available for different MagicBands, but that is something that you should know, is that some MagicBands actually do have a unique theme to them that only that MagicBand has access to. I can't put the Fireworks theme on my MagicBand. Let's talk now a little bit about setting up your MagicBand. First things first, when you get your MagicBand, a lot of them are not fully charged. They're really not guaranteeing how much charge level they will have. Some of them will be close to 70 or 80% charged. Some of them may only be 20% charged. And the reason that that's important is because when you first get your MagicBand, at least the Generation 1 MagicBand Pluses, I don't know if it would change, but these Gen 1 MagicBand Plus, they have to be updated the moment you get them in order to use them or change things. And so in order to update it, it requires that you have at least 60% of battery life. Even though it only takes a couple of seconds really to update it, it's not a pain to update. It does require a certain amount of battery percentage. So the problem is, if you get one that's only at 20%, if you haven't brought a box with you or any sort of way to charge it, to actually plug this in somewhere, you may not be able to use your MagicBand right out of the gate. You might have to wait until you can get home and charge it fully in order to update it and start using it. It's just a watch out. It's not happening to a lot of people, but there are some people that just haven't been able to use it right away. If they picked it up, say, if you're in the park at Magic Kingdom and you buy it there, you may not be able to get going right away until you can update it. Once you get your MagicBand, in order to update it, in order to start using it, you have to have the My Disney Experience app, and you have to pair it with your actual phone device. It can only stay paired to one phone device at a time. The instructions are pretty simple. Once you go into the My Disney Experience app, you find the MagicBands, you click on Add a MagicBand. It will run you through the directions as far as pairing it. There is a button on the back of this that you will hold in for about 3 seconds while it's near the phone. And it will go ahead and do the pairing. You let go, it'll flash blue, it'll vibrate, do a little vibration, and then it'll be paired. And then once it's paired, you'll have access in My Disney Experience app to do different functions like updating it. There's a button to click update, and it'll update the software, basically the firmware or software on the actual MagicBand. You can also change some of the settings, like if you want the vibration on or off, and then changing the lights. Again, you can change the sort of the default light setting. There's a few other settings as well, like sensitivity and that sort of thing, but overall, that's how you would do it. Now let's talk about all the cool things that you can do with this brand new MagicBand Plus. A lot of the features that MagicBand Plus interacts with are part of the Play Disney app experience. So it is a separate app from the My Disney experience. You will need to download Play Disney and then set that up in the account and then link that Play Disney with your My Disney experience account. So where this becomes challenging, and it's kind of a pain, is if you have multiple people trying to play games at the same time with different MagicBands. Unfortunately, each person will have to have their own device. You'll have to have your own smartphone device. So if you've got 2 adults and 3 kids and they all want to play a game, you've got to have 5 phones. There's no getting around it. Now, technically there's a workaround, and that workaround is that you have 5 different Play Disney experience logins. You can access those by just logging in and logging out on the Play Disney app on the same device. But that kind of gets frustrating because you don't want to, if you're playing with this one, the one child is playing with it and they want to be able to check things off on their scavenger hunt, and then when they're done, having to log out of the Play Disney and then log back in with another person's account, and then they get to check off the scavenger hunt. I just don't feel like it's realistic. It's a little bit clunky. So I think for the most part, that's probably one of the biggest frustrating. It'd be nice if they actually allowed you in the Play Disney to just kind of quickly switch between things, or even share a single Play Disney experience app with multiple people. We'll get to that a little bit in Batuu Bounty Hunters, what I'm talking about, because it can be kind of challenging if you have multiple people doing it. It's important to know that you don't have to have your own My Disney Experience account, just the Play Disney account, because all the progress and everything is all part of that app. All right, so let's get to it. The first thing that's new that you can do in the parks is the Disney Fab 50 Golden Statues Quest. This is where you go around the different parks, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, and Magic Kingdom, and search out all the Fab 50 golden statues that are located throughout the park. There are 36 of these statues throughout the park. There's 50 characters, so it's Fab 50 Quest because there's 50 golden characters, but there's only 36 statues because a few of the statues have multiple characters on them. So in case you're wondering why I can't find 50, it's because there's not 50, there's only 36. So when you locate a statue, you'll step into the area somewhere nearby the statue, and it'll play a little sound bite, some sort of music, or maybe a line from the movie, or some sort of voiceover. It'll just play like a little sound bite, and then if you have your Play Disney experience linked, it will actually check that off as though you found that particular particular character. Because again, the Disney Fab 50 quest is a scavenger hunt. Each character that you find will show up in the app, and you don't even have to have the app up or open for it to actually register that you found it. You do have to go into the app and then click it, and the tile will flip over and say that you found it, and so on and so forth. But you do get credit towards that 100% in each park just by walking into the area. It'll automatically get it. You don't have to worry about having your phone up and staring at it and saying, did I get it? It will give you credit. We'll talk a little bit about the pros and cons and how it works later in my honest review, so stay tuned for that. But I want to move on to the next cool thing that's brand new, and that is the Star Wars Batuu Bounty Hunters game, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It is actually a pretty cool game. And you do need the MagicBand Plus to play this game and interact with it. You can't really do it with just your phone, but you actually do also need your phone. And we'll talk about why in just a second. So the way this game works is you are basically a bounty hunter in training. You are not a physical bounty hunter. You're not part of the Bounty Hunters Guild. That is what you're working your way towards. You're trying to get into the Bounty Hunters Guild, but instead you're working your way in right now. And the way this works is that you walk into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and you find the bounty board. The bounty board is over there sort of by the droid depot area, up against the wall. There's a little space for it. And there's usually a line. Sometimes there's no line, sometimes there's a really long line, it depends. I kind of feel like they should add more than one bounty board, but right now there's one. And essentially you walk up to the bounty board and you scan your MagicBand against the little scanner, and it will actually assign you a bounty that you are to go find. You're to go search out and locate this bounty, this criminal, this scum of the galaxy. You're not to apprehend this bounty, you are only to locate the bounty. And so once you get your bounty, your MagicBand will flash and pulse, and it will start either turning red or green. So if it starts turning red, then you're walking the wrong direction trying to find it. If it starts turning green, then you're getting closer to it. So as you're searching out throughout the park, it doesn't tell you where to go. There's no map. You literally just have to find, it's basically a hot and cold game. You just have to find it based on your band. And so it'll start flashing green when you're walking in the correct direction and getting closer. It will start flashing and pulsing and vibrating faster the closer you get. The further away you get, the more it's going to flash red and tell you you're going the wrong way. Once you get to a door, it is always a door. Even if sometimes it doesn't even look like a door really, but it is basically a door. You will always find a bounty at a door. So there are tons of doors throughout Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Once you get near a door, there will be a panel near that door. It'll start flashing. It'll start making beeping sounds to tell you you're in the area. And your MagicBand will change to purple and start pulsing. When it turns to purple and you start hearing the noise from the door, you know you've found your bounty. What you do at that point is you bring up your Play Disney Experience app and you go specifically to the Bounty Hunters game within the Play Disney app, and you go into it and you do a scan. There's basically a scanner game. And so when you click that button and say, I think I found my target, you hold it up and it'll actually do like an augmented reality overlay of the door, like you're scanning the door. And if you found the right location, you'll actually see like a thermal image of the bounty standing behind the door. It's some sort of alien or robot. You can actually see them behind the door. It's actually really cool. And once you've locked in on it with that scanner, boom, you'll get credit. It tells you you found it, and it tells you to go back to the Bounty Hunters Guild and claim your credits. So then you go back to the bounty board. Right next to the bounty board, to the right of it, there's a little place where you stick your arm in and you do a scan. And once you scan, it will actually say, great job, you found the bounty, here's your money. It'll tell you how much money you got, like 500, 700 credits or whatever. It's kind of cool because a little guy actually shows up in the slats and talks to you. It's not just like a robotic voice. There's actually a person on the other side of the door. It's kind of cool. And then you're off to the next bounty. You go back to the bounty board and get a different bounty. If you try to claim credits when you haven't found the bounty, trust me, they'll let you know you didn't find the bounty. The last thing about Bounty Hunter that I wanted to call out is how to cancel a bounty. Because if you claim a bounty and you just can't find it, or maybe you just gave up and you're going to do it a different day, your band will be buzzing till the cows come home, and it's kind of annoying. And it doesn't really tell you how to actually cancel the bounty unless you pay really good attention. And the way you cancel the bounty, there's no other way that I've found, is to go back to the bounty board, scan your badge, scan your band up against the bounty board, and it will say, you have not found your bounty. Scan again to cancel this bounty. So then you scan again and it'll cancel it. Now the last thing that the MagicBand Plus has going for it is this enhanced nighttime spectaculars and beacons functionality that it has. Basically, any sort of beacons of light, like the beacons that happen in front of Spaceship Earth. So on the Epcot ball, you know, all the things, the show that happens, that sort of like couple minute long show where the ball is lighting up and doing all the stuff called the beacon of light. Your MagicBand will actually light up and vibrate in sync with that. So sort of like the colors change, the vibrations change, things like that while it's going on. Also, with the fireworks spectaculars, like Harmonious at Epcot or Enchantment at Magic Kingdom, it will actually do the same thing. So at different periods throughout the fireworks, it will sort of synchronize. It'll do a little bit of flashing, a little bit of vibrating. You can kind of look at it. It's kind of a cool experience. So that's, again, another feature of the MagicBand Plus that does not exist in the original MagicBands. All right, so that's all the features, everything you need to know about MagicBand Plus. Now, let's hit my honest review. Here's what I really think about MagicBand Plus. Overall, I'd say the MagicBand Plus probably isn't worth getting right now. It's a little disappointing if I'm being completely honest. I don't know if it was released a little bit too early or if it's just, there's just not enough stuff to do with it. It's a little quirky, and I'll give you a few examples. First of all, the statues, the golden Fab 50 statues, they don't really work that well. Especially in areas like Magic Kingdom. In Epcot, I didn't notice it as much, or Hollywood Studios. The volume level of the interaction that you get with the statue is really hard to hear, especially in Magic Kingdom, because Magic Kingdom just tends to be a little bit louder, there's a little bit more people around, and even when we actually walked up to the statues, I couldn't even hear what it was saying. I couldn't even see it. There's no lighting up of the statues. Like, I feel like the statues should maybe light up or do something interesting to let you know that you're in the right place and that it's doing something besides just the MagicBand buzzing. A lot of times I would walk into a space and nothing would happen, and then I'd be leaving the space and I'd be far away from it, and then all of a sudden it would happen, and I definitely didn't get to hear what it said then because I was really far away from it. There's no sort of like plaque or anything on the ground. If you think of like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, in front of all of the little spell interactions that you have within the park, there's like a little like golden plaque on the ground that actually shows you where to stand, and it also shows you like what the pattern of the spell is. I feel like the Fab 50 statues could benefit from something like that, where there's maybe like a defined space that you need to walk into to interact with it. But again, even then, the interaction is just a little weak. A lot of them just play like a little musical soundbite. They don't really say anything. So it's a little disappointing. I feel like they need to do more with it. And I also wonder what's going to happen when the 50th anniversary is over. All those statues are probably going to go away. So what are they going to do then? So those will all just be gone. So one of the things that you would do will be gone completely. I'm guessing they'll replace it with something. I'm sure they're going to keep adding things, but right now it's a little glitchy. It's a little odd. It's not great. When it comes to Batuu Bounty Hunters, I actually think that was really cool. I feel like that's actually something that I felt like was worthwhile for the MagicBand Plus. It also doesn't work great. There were many times where we were walking and it was green, it was green, it was green, and then all of a sudden it was red. And then we walked the other direction and it was red, and we walked every single direction we could go and it was just red, and we're like, I don't understand, we didn't find it. And then we'd sort of have to just like leave the area and then come back, and then all of a sudden it would start being green again. There was many times where we went to the actual door that we were actually supposed to be at, and it never turned green, and we're like waving our arms around, and it just never turned green. So we're like, well, this can't be it. So we went, it never turned purple. So we went to a different door and tried other things, and then we never did find it. So then we had to go back, and then eventually we're like, oh, it was this door all along. Since this MagicBand Plus has come out, I see so many people walking around Galaxy's Edge just like, you know, staring at their phones, you know, not really paying attention, you know, walking into people, and lots of people waving their arms, you know, in front of doors and getting kind of frustrated. So it's a little wonky right now, if I'm being honest, even Batuu Bounty Hunters, but I still think that was a cool game that is definitely worthwhile doing. I enjoyed it, but it's not perfect either. But I'll give that one a pass because it's still a fun game overall. Now, the last things, which are probably my biggest gripes, and I'll do these quick. So the first thing is, The fact that you can't charge using the MagicBand unless you're a resort guest, I feel like that's just a no-brainer feature that they need to add. I don't like the fact that I can't use it to charge things. I don't know why you can't do that. So I feel like that's a big miss. Maybe it'll be a feature that they add. It didn't exist in the old MagicBand either. So maybe it's something that they'll add in the future. I really hope so, because that can make it so much better. The next thing is the fireworks and beacons. This is the most disappointing part for me. I feel like the fireworks, enchantment specifically, is really just not a good experience. Our MagicBands lit up maybe, and I'm not even joking, maybe 20 seconds in its entirety for the whole show, total. So during the whole show, 20 seconds it lit up and vibrated. It didn't even sync up with the music very well. The colors didn't sync right. And we also tested it out and we left the central area, the central plaza in front of the castle. We went down Main Street during the fireworks to see like what's the range on it. As soon as we left the central area and we were walking down Main Street, it never lit up or did anything again. I don't know why. I don't know if it was a glitch. I don't know what the deal is, or maybe just the range of it isn't that great. I would think that pretty much anywhere in the park it would work, but right now it wasn't, at least for us. I mean, you may be able to comment below like, well, it worked for me on Main Street, or I was in the back of the castle when it worked, and maybe it did, but the point is, like, I don't want to have to go to technical support to enjoy a MagicBand during the fireworks. It should just work. And so it was disappointing, and maybe it was working perfectly as intended, it just never did anything. All right, and the last thing I want to say is, these things used to be free. MagicBands used to be free. When you did a resort package, you got it for free. Now, you're looking at paying 25 to 35 bucks for a MagicBand per person. So you're looking at, with a family of 4 or 5, you're looking at around 100 bucks for MagicBands. It's a little bit frustrating if you think about it, you used to get it for free, now you got to pay for them. Again, you don't need them. They are nice to have. They're extra. But they used to be free. And so again, that's just a little frustrating piece. So overall, I can't really recommend going out and, jumping out right now and buying a MagicBand Plus. But I would say if you're interested in playing with some of the stuff, getting a cool experience, maybe you have a family of 5, or you maybe have friends you usually go with, maybe just buy one and share it with everybody, at least until they work out the quirks and they start adding more things. I do think there's a lot of things they could add that would really maybe make it a lot better, but right now I just can't really say it's worth it. So that's all I've got for you. Hope you've enjoyed this episode and that you've learned everything that you need to know about the MagicBand Plus and my honest review of it. There's lots of other content below. We do these guides, we do daily vlogs, all sorts of other things, so be sure to check us out below. Lots of other links below to some of our other content. Until I see you tomorrow, the noble way is the easy way.